What's up, Chaotic Amateurs listeners? It's me. It's Bentley. You know that. I'm always the guy yapping his gums up here at the beginning of the show. Hey, thank you all very much for supporting us in the Season 2 downloading. We still need those reviews. We want those reviews, so get them into us on iTunes, on Stitcher, on Podbean, and anything else where you can leave a review. Please make it a nice one. If you want to start a subreddit for us, now we're talking here, kids. If you'd like to subscribe to the Patreon, become a patronizer of us, please. I believe the base thing for that is $1, but also we're going to be releasing some exciting new rewards and so new platform, new structure here soon, so that'll be very exciting. As always, check us out, chaoticamateurs.com, at chaoticamateurs on Instagram and on Twitter. Email us. Do you have a suggestion? Do you have artwork? Do you just want to say hi and that I'm your favorite and everyone else stinks? That's totally fine. I'm into it. So hit us up. Thank you all very much for listening, and on to the episode.
In a vast landscape full of adventurers, you are now listening to the world of Chaotic Amateurs.
And welcome back to Chaotic Amateurs, iTunes' #1 D&D 5e play podcast. I am your DM and host for this show, Bentley Michaels. To my immediate right, we have...
Caleb as Yamhorn Drill.
And Rhett as Duroc Dragon's Bane.
Milo is Ren.
Wow, that's Dragon's Bane. Where's that voice coming from?
Chain smoking.
I like it. Maybe I should start.
All right. And on last week's adventure, kids, they felled the mausoleum of Hiruk Dragon's Bane. They got some sweet loot. Good. They got some sweet loot, and that was pretty much it. They were still in the tomb. They were still down there hanging out, a bunch amongst the coffins, dead people. So we're going to drop them right back in there, and what do you cats want to do?
Hey, you guys, you remember all that sweet loot we got?
Yeah.
Yeah, these...
sorry, hold on.
Cool. I knew something wasn't right.
Now we can adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got some pretty cool boots.
I got this cool sword.
Well, yeah, isn't that why we came down here?
Yeah.
Which you now know, Rhett, there are some, Duroc, there's some pretty cool things that go with it. But amongst them, it has an instant +1 to all attacks. And if you can beat a DC 12, you get a +2 to any attack that you want. It doesn't take an extra thing. You can just roll it.
So when he's making an attack, he rolls a
D20. He gets an automatic +1, and then if he wants to, taking no extra action, he can do it every single time he attacks that he wants. He can immediately roll a second D20, and if he beats a DC 12, he gets a +2 to the attack.
Holy mother!
A +2 really on top sword. Of the +1?
No, it goes up to a +2 instead of the +1.
Bummer.
No,
Still
bummer.
Really
that's still awesome.
But try to sneak that extra one.
And there's hidden powers that you haven't discovered yet. It's a leveling up sword as you become more attuned with it.
I like that.
My grandfather was good at making stuff to kill people.
Why don't we spend a week just attuning to it?
Yeah.
What a great idea. We could all use a rest.
Yeah,
definitely need a rest.
Training montage.
So you want to hang out in
the crypt?
In the crypt?
Yeah, the best around. Nothing ever gonna hang. Yeah, anyway. Yeah.
We could not have an episode without beatboxing from Rhett.
I wasn't beatboxing.
Oh, there was beatboxing in the middle there.
Was there?
You just don't even know when you're doing it.
You were keeping that flavor going.
Yeah. So, gentlemen, should we make our way back up? Because the air is pretty stale down here, and I would like to see some sunlight.
Yes.
Seems like a good idea.
I'd like some sun, too.
So let's actually... Here's what I think we should do. You guys let me know what you think. We ought to head back to town. I want my 500 gold.
Yeah. I would like a rest. I'm pretty low on HP.
Do you want to do it when we get back to town, or do you want to sleep with these dead family members of yours?
It's like 2 or 3 days to get back to town, right?
It was a 1-day trip if you rode the entire time.
Okay.
Because you made it to that little alcove where you guys all had the movie trailer dream in about 8 hours or so.
Oh, that's right. What do you guys think?
And then you got to the outskirts of the cemetery around it.
Just
I
something.
guess
5
we can
p.m.
depart now, and we can just camp if you want, I guess.
Yeah, camp halfway there or something.
I can't imagine.
I want to ask Ren, since you're the most familiar with, and I say this in the most kind of terms, death. You're the most familiar with death.
Yeah.
Do you see any reason for concern if we were to just rest down here real quick before we head out?
I do have some concern about the undead dwarf guys that were upstairs. I don't really like the idea of them coming down and killing us in our sleep.
You don't think it was a one and done kind of a deal? You think they might have more?
They're invisible, so
That's a good point. Okay, let's. Yeah, okay.
I just listened to, I think it's episode 2 where you're fighting the first two, and you were like, they're pretty weak, and then you only get a 1 damage when you boop them with your staff. Boop.
Yeah, I think there was a legit boop in there.
good boops.
Okay, well, shall we?
We shall.
All right.
So what do you do?
We head back to the surface.
Okay. You make all your rolls going over traps and, getting through everything. Okay. And so you come out of you guys all come out of the stairwell, and you see the fake tomb of Darok stepping over the spike. Make sure not to get your dolotosies. And as soon as you all exit, it goes back into place. So it's, you guys spent some time down there for sure. And it's early morning at this point. And are you raising your hand for a question?
I am. I don't want to interrupt your exposition.
No, sorry. I didn't know if you were stretching or you didn't know if it was cool to put your arm around Red at the point on the couch.
What's he doing?
Yeah, what's
Can't
up?
see.
What? Before we leave, Yamhorn wants to check out the gazebo because that caught his eye on the way in, and
you already did.
And I want to look at it on the way out too.
Okay,
just admire it. If nothing's changed, I just want to spend 5 minutes there and just take some breaths, admire the coast that I can't see probably because there's a wall.
No, there's no wall.
Oh, good. I'm admiring the coast then.
Oh, and I meant to send this, text it to you guys. I'll do it right now.
How's the weather right now?
It's nice. It's early morning, a little brisk, but nice pinks and all that sort of stuff.
Ooh,
Classic sunrise.
I like that. It's crisp.
And it's like the edge of everything. Here's kind of what it looks like as far as the cliff drop off going into the ocean. Now you'll have to realize that the water isn't there. But it basically, my inspiration for it was this.
Ooh.
And so it drops off into the Darok.
Oh, sorry.
So the water up here isn't there. That's all land and graves and stuff. But it drops off.
It's all death and stuff.
But
that's really pretty. Listener, I'm sorry you can't see it right now.
We'll put it on the social media for sure.
It is very beautiful.
So what would you? So Yami's going over to the quartz gazebo. Still no ants for you to burn.
Dang it! Can I chisel the quartz out of the ground? No offense to the Dragon's Bane clan, but
you'd have to ask Darok because that would be a pretty big insult as you're on sacred ground.
What do you think? Because you seem like you don't really care much about your family.
I care about my family. I just hate frivolous dwarven crap.
Is this frivolous to you?
Well, not really, but if you want a little piece, I'll just take a little piece, man. I'm gonna go over here. I don't think you're gonna be able to get it. Quartz is pretty strong.
I'm strong.
You do remember they couldn't mine it out, which is why they built around it. So
okay, all right. Well,
and I only say quartz because I don't have a better name for it. Yeah. So it's likely
diamond,
amethyst.
You'll likely break your tools.
Okay,
Mithril.
Let's go.
Let's get the horses.
Yeah, where's Tammy? Is Tammy okay?
Yeah,
she's still tied up.
Well, you guys are still up by you're still up there. So what would you like to do? You tied your horses up about 50 to 60 feet away from the entrance, which was down a hill.
Yeah.
And everything. So what would you like to do?
I want to walk towards the horse, keeping my head on a swivel.
I make my way towards Hickory.
Back through the gate.
Yeah.
So you, as you're walking down this sweet little the stone walkway, and you're coming to the entrance / exit of the hollowed burial ground of the dwarves. I need you guys to make a perception check.
Oh no. I knew we should have rested.
13.
13. Good.
14.
Good. So you didn't print it out.
22.
Make that your screensaver.
Okay. So good. You all perceive as you're walking down 4 Duragard come into out of invisibility behind you. And
did you say 4?
Yep. Which was the weird shimmering that you saw walking through the graves. They had invisible guards going through that, sort of patrolling the area as well.
Is that when he said it was desecrated or whatever?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. When he said there seems like something desecrated this land. No, I mean, maybe. You don't know what they were doing. But also, you notice coming up the path that was sort of in front, to the sides or whatever, many, many horses with many, many riders on them. Now, Darak, you're going to recognize at least one of these people. You see a dwarven general in full plate mail armor. Very impressive. Frivolous dwarven craftsmanship. You see... Who got the 22?
I did.
You did? Okay, then you also see... They're just riding up straight up the path towards you, flanking him. Sort of, it makes a triangle out, this, as it's coming at you. Right behind the general leading the way, you see 4 huge things of armor that look to almost be alive with fire inside, 2 on each side, riding towards. Now, sort of out behind them, even farther, you see what you perceive to be 4 drow elite assassins, and sort of taking up the rear at a sauntering pace. A very, very elaborately dressed, what you assume is some sort of mage.
Can you insert a long beep for this?
But I didn't say fudge.
It was the Queen Mother.
So they ride up, and Darak, you recognize the general.
Oh, good. I was about to ask that.
As Baramus Anvilbeard. And he is the leader and one of the higher mucky mucks up in Versberg. Not a pleasant creature.
Dwarf, do you know these people?
Unfortunately, I do. The one in the front is Baramus Anvilbeard.
Can we take them all?
I can.
All right, go for it. I'll hang out here with Ren. You handle this.
Does is he okay? So
they ride up, and as you guys come to the entrance, they sort of meet you.
Okay, I was going to say,
and they stop. By the way, now that they're closer, and since you rolled the 22, and even you two, I would imagine you've experienced this at least once in your life. You recognize the suits of armor that look like they're alive with fire inside. Oh. And you know them as Helmed Horror. Not pleasant.
Guys, I try to say out of the side of my mouth.
So
I think we need to rely on diplomacy in this.
I realize that, if I've seen Baramus clearly probably recognizes me.
Yep.
I take it when I was serving, we probably just didn't get along very well. So.
Oh no. You guys were kind of the sort of, polar opposites of each other very much. And then since you bowed out, he was like, good. And now I'm going to go be a for a while.
Okay. That's very typical of him.
Classic Baramus. So,
I stand there, sword on my belt, arms crossed, and I'm just going to wait for him to meet us.
You guys have met. You guys are standing at the entrance exit. Those two door guard that you killed earlier.
I've got my hammer drawn.
Still laying there. One hip definitely looks out of place.
So,
one's got blood on his beard.
I guess I coolly regard him. I don't want to be the first to, defer to him at all,
Right? And he's feeling the same. So he's just kind of looking there.
The first person that talks shows the weaker position.
Can I just roll like an intimidation?
Sure.
Via silence.
Intimidation.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun. As he's flanked by this small contingent of badasses.
18.
Nice. And normally, one-on-one, he would be scared, but he kind of goes, always the sultry one, Duroc?
First thing that
Which
came
is
to
a
my
little
mind was
bit of
your
the...
mama.
Yamhorn says out loud, "You must know him."
I look at him and I say, "Did you bring enough men this time, Baramus?"
Oh, my friends. I just thought I'd have a little welcoming party for you.
What's this about then?
We just thought we'd help you folks back to the city after your little quest. How did it go?
Well, that's really nice.
It's me, Baramus. Clearly it went fine. I take it you're going to escort us whether or not we want it?
I'm just trying to be friendly.
Well, in that case...
What?
Our horses are just down the road.
Yeah. What? Yamhorn speaks up. Gentlemen, high respect to you, person with the flaming stuff. Do you mind if we get our horses? Because we're totally fine. We got here just fine, so we can go on our own.
So do I get the impression that he's like arresting us or something?
Yeah.
You definitely get the impression that he is not going to let you leave without him. And if you were to put up a fight, there's a reason he brought so many kind of
A
big and
contingency
intimidating. These are the guards that you see.
Oof.
And there's 4 of them.
And so, and so those are the people right immediately behind him?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then the 4 drow elite assassins, and then the one sort of mage.
Are those drow like mercenaries or something? Do I recognize them as like...
No. I mean, you would recognize them probably as mercenaries.
Does Yamhorn recognize either of them?
Roll a perception.
8.
No, you're just sitting there like hands on your hip like a little kid, like squinting your eyes trying to look intimidating, like you're looking at all of them. But one of them does wink at you.
So I want to insight to see if he actually intends to take us back to the city or not.
Sure.
That's 15.
You get no feeling of other than what he's saying. You believe he's going to take you back.
Do I know the relationship between Baramus and Boulder Grip?
Yeah.
Is it poor?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I look at Baramus and I say, well, I can't allow you to escort me back to the city, Baramus, but you can accompany me. It's a free world. I'm not going to
Sure.
So,
would you like to go get your steeds that your old friend lent you?
Yes.
All right. So they sort of make a path in the center, but then as you start to walk forward to where your mounts are tied up,
oh boy,
they basically just create a half circle around you, and you're walking in the middle of them.
and they're like trailing us, or they're like blocking us?
They've surrounded you like
They're
in a
watching
U,
us get
and you're
the
in the
horses.
middle of the U, and they're basically, you're not ahead of them, you're right in the middle of them, so you're not going anywhere.
Oh.
I say out of the side of my mouth, Dwarf, what's going on? Who are these people?
Yeah. Baramis and me go way back.
Amigo?
No.
Oh, no.
He's always been a petty rival. Baramis, what is the meaning of this?
We're just here to take you back to the city, old friend.
No.
Well,
No, you're not.
one way or the other, you're going back, and I'd rather not have my friends have to get involved. You don't look too good.
You don't look like you've had a rest in a while.
Oh.
Your HP looks low, friend.
You'd know all about that, wouldn't you?
Oh! Yamorn
Yes.
says that out loud.
Not knowing why. Just being his hype guy.
Yep.
So, you guys get on your horses? What's the
Well,
deal?
fine, Baramis. Lead the way.
Okay, so you guys, you get on, what was it? Hickory. And you get on Tammy. And you get on Horse. And they basically sort of, he rides in the middle, so he's like riding next to you. So it's you four riding, and then the rest of the people create a like wider U around you. Just once again, making sure that you guys aren't going anywhere. And you all travel, you stop, you rest, guards stand guard. If you'd like to have conversation, you can while you're sitting around the fire.
What's the guy's name again?
His name is Baramis Anvilbeard.
Baramis. I'd like to sit next to Baramis and say, do you mind...
It's Mike.
Do you mind if I go limp real quick?
He's very intimidated by Baramis.
It's not that. It's the thing on the end.
The nut.
Yeah.
Okay.
Things are falling apart.
I'd like to have a private conversation with you if you wouldn't mind, sir.
As private as my guards standing around us and us sitting here, sure.
I don't mind if they watch on, but can we just maybe not... Let's speak softly. How about that?
Well, I'm going to talk like this.
Okay,
You
I'm going to
talk
whisper
however you
in your
want.
ear.
He won't allow you to get that close. And if you do, one of the drow draws a sword and sort of puts it to your neck and
Whoa,
I say to
okay,
Yamhorn.
okay.
Back
I
up.
say to Yamhorn.
Back up a little.
All right.
I say,
Just kind of pat you. Back it up.
I say, Yamhorn, just like me, Baramis has no stomach for secret plotting. You're not going to get anywhere with that.
All right. Duly noted.
What's your story?
Tell me about yourself.
He's going to impose his Baramis and let us escape. Hopefully, that's where this is going.
So I want to talk to Baramis, and you know what? Yamhor doesn't care if anybody's listening.
Okay.
And what's your business with Dragonsbane? Because I only just met him. How do I know that I wouldn't be better off with you?
I'm not accepting any applications right now.
Okay. So what do you have against Dragonsbane?
You'll find out soon enough.
Why are you
Also-
being so cryptic?
Oh, ever the eavesdropper, just like back in the military school.
Well, you sound like a quiet avalanche echoing through the caverns of
That's-
Frisberg.
That's
Sounds
the
not very
nicest-
quiet.
That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
Well, don't get used to it.
That's the only compliment I'll ever pay you. So, look, dude. All I'm saying is that I just want my money. We were sent on a mission. I want my money.
Oh, I'm sure we can come to some sort of agreement where you get your money.
Okay, if that's true, I'm not gonna worry about trying to figure out how to get out of this situation. Because right
You
now I
can't
feel like
get
I'm
out of this situation.
Okay, I was gonna say I feel.
I mean,
trapped.
unless you want to get out of it by being buried.
So, I'm wondering if, like, could I So obviously, like the drow are like mercenaries or whatever. But is there any chance that like I could sort of like flex my old rank and like no? Okay, it's worth a shot.
No, they're just here to collect you and take you back to the city.
Yeah, so Ren basically just feels like we have an entourage now,
Yeah.
and we have a safe escort back to the city.
That's
He's really not concerned.
Yamhorn is in the same kind of boat. Like unless they're willing to offer me a better deal, which is why Yamhorn approached him. Like I don't really feel like we're in a huge.
Yeah, and I don't really know much about this
all I
guy,
know is that
And my calm and collected manner isn't giving you anything to go off of.
that's the only thing that makes me uncomfortable is that Dragonsbane seems uncomfortable. Like
uncomfortable. You kidding me? 1-on-1, I could beat this guy with one hand tied behind my
He
back.
seems
okay,
very
I go
uncomfortable.
I go over to Dragonsbane.
Especially now with my new sword.
Yeah, dwarf. What's the meaning of all this? Why should I be concerned?
Look, Boulder Grip was working with the Resistance, whatever it was called in episode 1.
The underground.
The underground.
Because dwarves like underground.
So is this one
It's
with the
clever.
Senate or whatever?
Think of this guy as like a Colin Powell. Like he's a very big 4-star general thing.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I'll just say he doesn't like the underground.
Is that
And
it?
that's all I got to say about it.
He doesn't like the underground. What do you want me to say? He hates
More?
Valtred Boulder Grip with a passion, almost as much as he hates me.
So
Also, you know that Baramis, like I said, he's sort of he's high up in the administration. He's he's the biggest general there could be.
Mm-hmm.
There's other generals, but he is he's Vader, and the only other person above this guy
Look.
is
The only thing ever blocking Baramis's path upwards in the military was me, and once I left, it was a sure thing that he would go as high as he could.
Dwarf, this is not my home. I don't really care about the local politics, though.
Mm-hmm.
You have to understand, I was hired for a job. As far as I know, the job is still being completed.
Yeah, well...
Do I need to be worried?
Yeah.
Why am I still with you right now?
Look, Baramis doesn't care what you are hired to do or how quickly you'll turn tail. The fact that you were with me when we exited the cemetery is all the reason he needs to lop your head off the first chance he gets.
All right.
gentlemen. It's getting late. Sleepy time.
You know I don't sleep, Baramis.
So
You go
I'm
insane.
just going to fast forward you bozos. You go to sleep, which I would suggest because it'd be a long rest.
Yeah, I'm going to.
And they wake you in the morning, and you guys are back on your journey.
I know as big of a cur as Baramis is, he's actually, has some semblance of honor.
Respect. Okay. I like to think that Yumhorn says, no, wait, 5 more minutes.
Yeah, and then a drow kicks you in the
Kicks me in
gut.
the head.
How do I calculate my hit point recovery? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you guys are back to you're good as new.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so you
God bless
guys are traveling, and as you start to draw nearer to the city, you sort of start to hear noise. You know how if you've ever gone to an outdoor football game, at a big stadium or anything like that, as you get closer, you just start to hear the crowd and of a big gathering of people. And as you're coming into the city, you realize it seems pretty desolate on the outskirts. But as you make your way towards the mountain and that sort of thing, it gets louder, and you start to see tons and tons of people. And you'll remember that the mountain sits at the end of the landmass, basically. And the towns are the east and west towns and the central towns. And then as it comes, there's a drawbridge made completely out of the land and stone. And then you go in sort of Helm's Deepy into this sort of semicircle, but it's 20 or 30 miles of a rock city. So as you go into that, everybody's there. the town's there, and it looks like a huge festival is happening as you enter the city.
Guys, what's going on?
And as you draw near the main mountain and over the bridge, people are cheering. And there's like magical confetti falling.
Yamhorn's waving his hand.
Yeah, Ren is definitely like waving to the crowd and putting his shield and showing.
Even though he has no idea.
Oh, are they like watching us come in?
Yeah, these people are clapping and congratulating you as you enter the city proper. There are banners. You'll remember that the main sort of hold, there was two bigger walls like this and then one sort of smaller one that jutted out.
Right.
There are two big banners on the side and one skinnier one, all displaying the Wurzburg crest. And that will also be later on what I just showed them. That'll be on our Instagram, and so basically, my DM notes. I'm gonna start taking pictures, and when these episodes release, the pictures will be on our Instagram and our Twitter for you all to see. And if you subscribe to Patreon, you might get some sweet DM notes. So there's banners hanging from the walls on the left and the right, and in the center there's a skinnier one with the logo of the city-state. Duroc, so you guys are all waving, having a great time?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm soaking it in.
In the center, there's the sort of entrance, which would be into the sort of main part and into the, inner city, which is built in the mountain. And as they're leading you in, you tie up your horses and everything. And they surround you all, and you're in the center of all of them. Everyone's still smiling, though. Even Baramis is kind of yeah, hi, everybody. The knights and the drow look drowish and knighty and stoic. And they start leading you through a series of tunnels, and you seem to be going up. And Duroc, you know that you are being led into the mountain city itself. General Baramis is waving stoically and says, Duroc, you didn't wave to the people. They were cheering for you.
I lean over, I say, it's like this. Do it like this.
I just shake my head and say, let him wave.
All right. So you're led through a series of elaborate tunnels, and you're making your way upwards. The crowd cheering is starting to disappear as you're entering. And then as you're going through the tunnels and you're going up, you start to sort of come out and you start to see this sort of opening now where you're looking out above the city and the crowd's starting to get louder again. You come to the top of a hallway and you sort of see this platform that you assume would be where the center banner is hanging from. And there's sort of like a little enclave room, and the rooms are sort of rounded and that sort of stuff. And then there's some stairs down, so it's like a ante room basically to the main platform where people could actually see you. When you enter that little ante room, you see a somewhat heavy dwarf talking to an even rounder dwarf. And there is a much younger, very well put together dwarf in robes, all standing around talking. The fatter dwarf, Dalfrey Jade Miner, says, Well. Look what a troll dragged in. Duroc Dragon's Bane. And friends.
Do I recognize him?
Yeah.
Okay, and he was Jade Miner?
Doufread, Dalfread Jade Miner. You would recognize him essentially. He's one of the people. It's 5 city-states. You know how they've got the people in the Senate, but all in terms and purposes, he's basically the vice president. You recognize him as that. The less heavier man laughs and pats the fatty on the shoulder and says, Dalfred, is that any way to address our honored guest?
Oh, jeez.
In front of his son, no less.
Oh, boy.
The well-dressed dwarf addresses Duroc.
Yumhorn's jaw drops.
Addresses Duroc. Father, it's been a while. And you know this as your one son, because your sons are split, one on your side, one in the Senate. He is Graukdrat Dragonsbane, Groukdrat, Graukdrat Dragonsbane.
What else aren't you telling us, dwarf?
Well, you just met him.
Graukdrat. It's a real displeasure.
Ouch.
Ooh.
Pretty harsh.
Oh, Dragonsbanes, please. Relax. We're all friends here. So, Baramis tells me you were successful in your quest.
And what was his name again? That big one? Or that less big one? Or whatever? That guy?
Dalfried?
You know him as the benevolent Baravin Oakfinger. And he's basically the big bad. He's the emperor to Baramis's Vader, if you will. He is sort of the... he's wearing sort of like lighter armor, very, very dressy, you know? And he has the audacity to basically wear a like what looks like a crown, but he says it's a headband. But it's got the logo of the city right there in the center. But he basically wears it just as a big middle finger because he knows what he's got.
Dwarf, should we be kneeling right now?
I wouldn't waste my time.
All right.
Please, no need for kneeling. We're all friends here.
Of course.
Now, gentlemen, shall we address the people? It is, after all, why they have gathered. And, without waiting for your answer, he and his compatriots move towards the stairs and walk out onto the platform that overlooks the crowds.
Welcome to the 49th annual Hunger Games.
No.
Is that what they say?
All getting cut.
Why did you say that, Yami?
So, as he walks out, the audience roars with screams. Now that I've passed it, this is sort of the layout. There's like the anteroom, there's a thing, and then this is what it looks like from the front.
Okay.
Where they're standing. The audience roars with screams and adoration. Baravin basks in it, in the applause for a moment, and then motions with his hands for the people to silence. And then he begins to speak. Now, there's this thing at the top, and I couldn't really draw it too well. But basically, it's like this thing that you speak into, and then the whole front of the stone is cut out like a speaker, so it reverberates everything.
Cool.
I like it.
Versberg. Things have not been well as of late. There have been many power grabs, which has led to civil unrest and ultimately has hurt all of you, my fellow dwarves. It's time we rectify that. Long ago, Hiruk Dragonsbane, and there's a little cheer. Yes. Hiruk Dragonsbane helped bring order and peace to the land in such times of civil unrest. But he and the mighty sword, Drakentoter, Drakentoter, were thought lost. My fellow dwarves, I'm here to tell you, we have found the sword. His heir, Darok, and he motions for you to come forward,
I do.
has gone on an epic journey and felled many a foe, but now brings us back hope to Versberg. And he grabs the sword out of your sheath and pulls it up and holds it up for the audience to see.
I don't think I would have let them do that, but fair enough.
He does it, the guy. And I would assume since you're in front of all those people and the big bad crew is behind you, he's putting on a show. Holds it up. But now he brings us hope back to Versberg, and the audience lets out a huge, huge cry. He then, in a very benevolent manner, holds the handle and the blade, looks at you, and gives you a slight bow and extends it back out to you.
Holy.
Yeah, I reach out and just grab it by the hilt.
Okay.
Yamhorn was nervous because that was his 500 gold.
Let this be a day of celebration. Eat, drink, be merry. To Würzburg, Prost. And the entire audience says it back to him. And then he turns around, motions for you, and once you're back on the enclave, he says to Duroc, you got to give the people what they want.
It's always what you were best at.
Indeed. So, gentlemen, we have quarters for you. If you need to rest up, wash up anything, but in a few hours' time, we'll be having a private feast. And I insist that you be my special guests. And with that, he turns around and walks off.
Does Yamhorn take that insistence as like a threat?
As the guards and everything are still around you, so you couldn't, like, they've viewed you. Now their backs are blocking, like, the thing, so no one from, like, the audience could see you, and you could only go forward. I would imagine you all are... I'll give Yami a few brain points here and say, you get what's going on here.
Yeah, if you haven't figured it out by how we were escorted all the way back from the cemetery, then...
Yamhorn is confused because we're getting all these accolades and stuff, but there's still this kind of over layer of you know,
Like
I don't have any choice.
Like we're prisoners, kind of.
I know.
I don't
My
know
least favorite kind of enemies are the ones that smile at you.
Yeah, Ren is kind of feeling like he should wait till the party and see if maybe he can move forward his agenda there.
Ooh, what's Ren's agenda?
I'm excited. So,
He's trying to become Emperor of Würzburg.
So, you each basically get a one of those helmed horrors and a drow assassin guy following you, drow elite, and they escort you to your rooms. They're all right next to each other. You got adjoining doors, so you could all hang out if you wanted.
Do any of the drow recognize Yamhorn yet?
Wait,
No.
So I want.
Well, they already winked, so don't lie.
No, he just thought he was staring at him because Yamhorn was like trying to perceive who they were, and so he thought he was like, "Oh, I'd be into Yamhorn."
Oh.
Is that one assigned to me?
No,
Dang it!
he was pulled off the case for getting too emotionally involved.
All right.
You
so
get too close to them.
So there's no windows. It's just like it's like a very nice stone hotel, like very elaborate.
Are
You
we
know,
like sharing like a suite?
No,
type
you
thing,
each
or
have
we-
a door, but
Oh, okay.
I'll give you adjoining doors so you guys could all congregate if you want. But outside of all your doors are your guards, and there's definitely no escape.
Okay. Well, I go into my room.
Yamhorn tries to escape.
You get butted in the face by a back fist, like he just Batmans you. You open the door, and you take 2 damage.
All right.
If you were actually trying to escape.
He absolutely
joking,
It's
but
way
I'll
too
take
late.
Then,
I'll take
then,
it.
then don't worry about it.
No, he has to take it. He freaking tried to escape.
Okay.
I'd like
Imagine Yamhorn's just like running around like a gerbil, like climbing at the walls. What's going on?
So I would like to meet up with my friends here. My perceived friends.
You knock on the
Yeah.
guys. You've got those adjoining doors, you know, like in hotel rooms and that
Yeah.
sort of
Like
stuff.
between the rooms.
So I just went into mine, but I don't indicate that no one can follow me. I don't lock the doors or anything, so you guys can just join in if you wanted.
I'll go to
Otherwise, whatever.
his. I don't know about you, Ren.
Yeah, if you guys are all hanging out, I'll come hang out in
I
the
want to
room
hang
too.
out.
If I
Okay.
see you guys together, you know.
All right, guys. What is going on?
Well,
I was under the impression that what we were doing is supposed to be like some covert operation, and here we are,
yeah.
the biggest fanfare I've ever
Yeah.
Yeah,
experienced.
we seem to have a lot of.
I think the
fans.
mission's been compromised.
I don't
Dun,
know
dun,
if it
dun.
has.
If it wasn't obvious, Yamhorn, we've been abducted by Baramis.
I feel pretty well taken care of.
Yeah, well, that's how they do it. If you guys want my opinion, our best chance of survival lies together. Trust me when I say that they will not hesitate to kill you or you. Simply for, being around me.
What do you propose?
Well, I'd like to seize the first opportunity to escape, but I'll tell you that I know their ways, and that our best chance of survival might be to bide our time, play by their game. And when our opportunity arises, we seize it.
I've heard of this legend. I don't know if it applies in dwarven culture, but if you kill the ruler, the person that kills the ruler becomes the ruler. Is that the case here? Because we could totally do an assassination attempt.
Yeah, with his entourage all around.
Hey, once you kill them, they have to follow you, right? If
it were that
true.
easy, I would have been the king a long time ago.
You killed the king?
No, I'm just saying I could kill him at any time.
Oh.
I'm Durak Dragonsbane.
Okay.
However,
Lest ye forget.
Yeah.
However, an assassination attempt is way too dishonorable for me.
I'm kind of hungry too. I want to see what they have at this feast.
Yeah, the feast sounds.
Yeah, that does sound fine to me.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, they throw pretty good feasts.
Yeah.
And like I said, we have to bide our time. So
You guys hang out. You guys have a little chit chat.
Do I need to dress up?
No.
Okay.
They didn't
come
like
as-
lay any clothes out for you or
Okay.
anything.
oh, bummer.
I'm gonna ask for some nice clothes.
Okay.
Ask one of the guards. For
What
the
do you
party.
want?
Something silky, something kind of nice against my skin.
They find you some dwarven children clothes.
He
I rolled a natty 20. I guess I'll do it. So,
Yamahorn says, whoa. If he's getting silk clothes, I want silk clothes. Bro.
crit fail. So, and then one of the guards looks at you, Durak. Do you want anything?
Not from you.
Good. So they motion for another drow soldier down at the end of the hallway to come, and they like whisper, and so they bring you back the smallest robe. It's like a child-sized dwarf. It's like a nice, basically it's a nice silk bathrobe. It's got gold little it's got a little the crest is on the breast pocket, with the thing that I showed you earlier, and it's got little hammers sort of like woven all over it, but it's still about a foot too big for you, so it's sort of dragging behind you.
Ren, you look good.
They brought you what looks like they grabbed a bag of potatoes and cut arm and head holes out, and they go, here you go.
Yamahorn puts it on.
All right.
It's not the first time he's ever worn a canvas sack
Thanks,
for
man.
clothes too.
What'd you say?
I said he looks good too.
Oh. So at this point, the guards, after you're all dressed up, and I'm actually really glad I rolled for that stuff. That made me laugh. The guards collect you, and they take you through a series more of tunnels and into this wonderful banquet hall that's deep within the mountain. There's candles, there's torches everywhere, and just a big long table, big old feast. Kind of looks like, in the first Mortal Kombat movie, like that big old like table. And it's just,
Oh yeah, I love that scene.
yeah, that's how I envisioned it. So there's like, torches on the wall and just a long thing, and you can see at one end of the table, at the head of the table is forgot his name. Baravan sitting. To his left is Baramis. To his right is your son, and then just some other sort of like mucky mucks down, and then standing all around are more drow guard, and in the four corners of the room, the big armored guys, and one of them points you and Yamhorn, thank you, Yamhorn and Ren to basically the opposite sides of like how the vice president and his son are sitting, and then Baravan says, Durak, please sit opposite of me at the opposite head of the table.
Did they insult us by letting us keep our weapons?
What's that?
Did they insult us by letting us keep our weapons because they are like saying like you can't do anything even with your awesome swords and stuff?
Yeah, they didn't take anything from you.
What a-holes. That's fine. I sit
What an
down.
insult.
And it depends on what these guys did if they put their weapons back on after they got all spruced up for the dinner.
I took for the way I see it is I took off my monk robe and put the sackcloth on top of the studded letter. So as far as I'm concerned, everything below that layer is the same.
Okay.
Still dressed, yeah.
Cool. All right. So you guys sit down?
Yeah.
Excellent. In front of you, pork bellies, apple butter.
I love it.
In front of you, a nice fresh salad.
He likes it.
Because somehow these people know that you're vegetarian.
Well, he was vegetarian.
Oh.
And now?
He switched.
Yeah, but
all along the table, it's classic feast. There's chops of mutton. There's big things. There's all sorts of, anything you could want, basically. There's cornbread and biscuits and all, gravy and all sorts of stuff. So grab what you like, but they were in front of you, your favorite dish. Don't know what it is, but
poop on a plate.
But it's your favorite dish.
Don't you love poop, dwarf? It's a nice plate of poop you got in front of you.
It's not
delicious,
poop for sure. But I can't even
delicious poop. Yep. Well, it's poop then.
No, it's it's like elk steaks or something. No,
Great.
Sounds good. Cool.
Great. So he says, please join us. Thank you for honoring us. I see that some of you have spruced up. You look wonderful.
Thank you.
As he looks right at me. The one guy.
No, as he looks at Yamhorn. Okay. You look wonderful.
He kind of like pushes up his fake hair, like his imaginary hair.
Oh dear. So, Duroc, tell me, how did you get the sword? We thought it was in that area, but we've been searching for months. You gotta tell me. Tell us all. Tell us your tale.
Well, you wouldn't have been able to get the sword without the blood of a dragon's bane.
Ooh. Well, that's good to know.
And I'm not being literal. I'm saying I'm better than all of you.
Oh, Duroc.
Can Yamhorn hear all this?
Yeah, they're
okay. They're right
yelling at each other from.
We're yelling across a long table.
Okay. It's like this. It's a long table. So imagine this a long table, and you guys are sitting there, and I'm sitting here, and he's just, as he's shoving food into his mouth.
I take it those were your minions at the cemetery?
Oh, yes, the Duergar. When we recruit into our armies, sometimes people just aren't up to snuff, but they're so eager to serve. And so we allow them to, in a manner of speaking. Surely you notice they don't look like normal dwarves anymore. They are quite useful, or people that are past their prime. Little ants scurrying along.
So you brought these people back to life?
Oh, me no. Necromancy? Not my field of expertise.
But you had them brought back to life.
Well, how can I have anything done, really? It's just stuff that happens.
This is Baravin talking, right?
Yes, the headman in charge.
Benevolent Baravin.
Well, what's dead is dead, and they should have been left to lie.
But there's so many more uses for people. I take it you're a man of faith?
Yes.
You should get better fitting robes, cleric.
And I kind of pull my rope a little bit tighter. And I think it fits
I don't like that.
nicely.
All right, I look over at you and I say, Baravin has faith in nothing but himself.
Well, isn't that wonderful? And it's brought you all to me. It's so exciting. How's the food? Good?
I regret to say it is excellent.
So, only you could have gotten it. That's very interesting. I'm assuming you're not going to tell the tale.
I killed a giant stone monster.
Oh, That's very exciting. Well,
you had a little help.
Couldn't have done it without these two.
Give
probably.
credit where credit is due, Duroc. Come on, they are our honored guests as well.
Yeah. They threw their lot in with me and helped me get the sword. Probably couldn't have done it without them.
Ah, yes. And that is something interesting. And he claps.
And the lights turn on.
And
now we can see.
And two drow elite come over to either side, up behind you, Yamhorn, and you, Ren. and they drop a bag of 500 gold. You don't know that. It sounds like gold. But they drop it right onto your plate, onto whatever's left of your food. And then they walk back to the position. I believe there was a manner of payment that you had worked out.
I look at Ren, and I look back at the gold, and I immediately open it up and start to count it.
I got a really bad feeling about what happened to Boulder Grip. I feel like he might be dead.
Are you saying this in character?
I look at Baravin, and I say, how'd you know that we'd be there?
Oh, Duroc, I have eyes and ears everywhere. And at that moment,
the lights turn off.
And at that moment, a person comes out holding a tray of desserts, whom you recognize. Hi,
Tiffany or Tammy
from Ale for Sale.
I think it's more like a Nurse Joy and Officer Jenny situation where.
However, she doesn't sound like that anymore, and she looks a little dead behind the eyes.
Oh,
not physically dead, but not quite there.
I lean over.
She brings out and just serves the table, the desserts.
I lean over to Ren. I say,
and leaves.
Is there something weird about her now?
So as she's like dropping the dessert, I want to like grab her wrist and look her in the eye.
Okay.
And do I notice anything more specific? Is she actually alive or dead? Or
she is very much alive.
Has she been beaten?
Nope. Hasn't been beaten. Her eyes just look like she's not in control.
What does she do as I grab her wrist? Does she try to pull away?
Do you need anything?
No, that's good.
Are you okay? You look.
I'm fine.
A little.
Would you like seconds on your dessert? As you haven't even eaten the first one, but she's got a big tray.
I probably will.
Okay, so she sets another one down.
Something doesn't.
It's a creme brulee, by the way.
I just think to myself, something doesn't look right, and then I look at Yamhorn, and
so if you let go of her, she serves the rest of the table, and then she exits.
Ren, if you really need it said out loud, he clearly enthralled her.
At Ren's glance, I say, "Excuse me, I need to use the facilities," and I try to follow Tammy if I can.
You are immediately grabbed and shoved back into your seat by 2 drow elite warriors.
All right, drow, I hope you are okay with me peeing in my chair.
We're all friends here. Come on, relax.
Let's drop the pretense,
Enjoy
Baravin.
the creme brulee.
It is good. But what did you do with Boulder Grip?
Oh. Fine. If you want to just skip over a bunch of stuff and not have dessert.
The creme brulee is delicious. What more do you want me to say?
I haven't started mine yet. Well, I'll take one nice bite. And he does. He's like, that Tammy. She is good. I'll give her that. Well then, shall we go on to the rest of our evening that I have planned for us?
Unless you'd want to bore us to death instead.
Always funny, Duroc. Come with me. And he stands up, as does everybody else, and him and his cronies walk out the door that you guys came in on your side of the table. And as he's passing you, he's like, "You're going to like the next part of this evening."
I have a feeling I'm not going to, but
and everyone else basically in the room surrounds you guys, and they take you out the door, and you are being led down a series of tunnels. And that is where we leave it for this week. So, for Chaotic Amateurs, I have been your DM and host, Bentley Michaels.
Caleb is Yamhorn Drill.
And Red is Duroc Dragon's Bane.
Milo is Ren.
Grab your swords and keep on adventuring.
Follow us across all platforms with Chaotic Amateurs. Please subscribe, rate, and review our show on your podcast app of choice to help us climb the charts and find new adventurers. Or become a patron on Patreon to help our heroes continue their quest. Thank you for listening to Chaotic Amateurs.